I'm going to read the children's book. I want you to feel free that at the end of each page, if you have a question, just raise your hand and we'll kind of go over it. The book's not very, very long, so we have time to kind of talk a little bit about them. And I may share a little bit as we go. And then as long as it doesn't get too crazy, then we'll keep doing it just like that. All right? Y'all ready?
Yeah.
All right. Hi, my name is Winston. They call me Wincy for short. I was born in the springtime when it was warm and flowers were starting to bloom. I had lots of brothers and sisters to snuggle with while Mama lay by our side. One day, when I was 2 months old, a family came to adopt me and brought me to their new home. I was a little afraid at first. I missed Mama, but soon I felt safe and knew this was where I belonged. There was Daddy Tim, Mama Karen, Sister Katie, Sister Abby, and there was another one like me. Her name was Heidi. There were lots of things to do at my new home. I chased balls and carried socks, and I pestered Heidi. Who knows what pestered means? Yeah?
Annoyed.
Annoyed her, right.
Messed with her.
Who's got brothers and sisters? Mm-hmm. Look at that. Did any of your brothers and sisters pester you? Yeah, that's what I thought. Well, Winston was just like Heidi's little brother, and she pestered him all the time, and she used to just stick her foot on his face and hold it down. It was really funny. And Heidi showed me how to chase squirrels, and it was so much fun. And they did chase a lot of squirrels in my yard. One time, Winston caught one. And he didn't grab it with his mouth, but he got right on top of it, and it jumped up on his back.
Oh, God!
No joke. And he spun around trying to find it, and it ran around his middle belly and back up on his back. And then he was really confused because he didn't know where that squirrel was. And while he was circling around in a circle looking for it, the squirrel jumped off and ran into the woods, and he had no idea where the squirrel went.
Where'd it go?
It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. My whole family was amazing, but Abby was my favorite. She would let me sleep in her room in her warm, cozy bed. My Abby taught me lots of fun tricks. How to sit, how to lay, how to walk on a leash, and how to stay. He still has the lay pretty down pat, you know.
Yeah.
One of my favorites is what Abby calls fetch. She would throw a ball or this plastic bumper, and I got to run after it and grab it up and bring it back to her as fast as I could. It is a lot of fun, too. We played fetch over and over and over. I love spending time with my Abby. When I was a year old, my Abby took me to a jumping pond for the very first time. She taught me how to jump high and long. At first, I was scared to jump off the edge of the dock. I had never jumped into a clear pond before, but my Abby helped me to be brave and strong. Who's ever seen on television the dock dog competitions where the dogs jump in the water? So that's what Abby was teaching him to do, and he really was afraid. The first time he ran just like he was going all the way out there, and right at the edge, he just slammed on the brakes and skidded to the edge and looked down in the water like, I can see through the water, like maybe it wasn't there. He never had jumped into a clear pond like that. We'd always been in lakes and rivers and stuff. So he was really scared. We actually had to get in the water for him to jump in the water with us. And after that, it was crazy. He could jump really, really, really good. One day, Abby even entered us into a jumping competition for dogs. I was tail wagging excited about competing, but Abby was really nervous for me, though she tried her best to hide it. There were lots of other dogs there, and I didn't know what to think of them. I had to include this because when we were competing and she was in the line to sign up, there was this big dog that literally jumped right up on top of the sign-up table. And Winston looked at him like, he don't know how to behave. Y'all ever look at other kids and go, they don't know how to behave?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do other kids ever look at you and go, they don't know how to behave?
No.
That's good.
Yes.
Good answer. Maybe. All right. I decided I will jump so far. I'm not afraid. I'll make her so proud of me. I jumped so far. I jumped so high. 22 feet across the sky.
Oh my
Do you know how long 22 feet is?
It's like a classroom, probably.
It really is about the width of this classroom. And Winston jumped. He was 100 pounds when he jumped that far.
That's like 22.
That's a long way.
Did y'all win first?
Listen to this. The crowd cheered loudly when we splashed into the water. Some of them yelled, "It's Wincy the Wonder Dog." I could see Abby's face. She was so proud of me. She had no idea I could jump so far. "Wincy the Wonder Dog," she shouted with them. I closed my eyes and imagined myself flying above the crowd, my golden cape flapping in the wind. The people below would look up and cheer. "It's Wincy the Wonder Dog. He has no fear." And that's him thinking about flying around. Now I think all he thinks about is me bringing him a biscuit. That's what I'm thinking. I won some fancy ribbons that day. In one event, I won first place. My Abby was so amazed. We hung them proudly in our room for all to see. I was happy I had made her proud of me. I loved jumping and training with Abby. It made me happy to train with her, but when I wasn't training with Abby, I was playing with my best doggy friend, Heidi. Sniffing, exploring, running, and hiding, and our favorite, tug of war. Who has a dog that plays tug of war?
Oh, man.
Yeah. And Winston just loved to pull Heidi around. He got bigger than her, and he was heavy, and so he could just pull Heidi all over the yard.
Dog named Winston, and he likes to play tug.
Really? That's cool that you got a dog named Winston.
He kind of looks like him.
I have a dog
He
named
looks like
Winston,
him.
but it's a mastiff.
But better.
All these dogs named Winston. You hear that? They stole your doggy name. All right. All right. Suddenly, one day, my leg started hurting, and it hurt really bad. I wanted to run and play with Heidi and play fetch with Abby, but it just hurt too much. It was sad. He would just lay around and watch them. So Daddy Tim took me to the doctor. It was kind of scary, but they were really nice to me. The vet checked my heartbeat and took my temperature. Then she took some really neat pictures of my bones called an x-ray. Who's ever had an x-ray taken? Whoa. Y'all are rough. All right, hold up. Who's ever broken a bone? Okay, so you know. After that, they said I had something called cancer. Has anybody ever heard of cancer?
Yeah, my dog has. He's like so scared. He's like, I remember.
She told Daddy Tim that I was going to die. I didn't understand, but it made everyone very sad. Daddy Tim believed God told him that I would be okay. I didn't understand that either. But if Daddy Tim believed I would be okay, then I believed too. I was confused. They were all crying so much. I just knew my leg was hurting. I couldn't walk, and I had to lay around or hop, hop, hop everywhere I went. Everyone thought something terrible was going to happen to me, but Daddy Tim kept saying, "I don't care what the doctors say, Winston is going to be just fine. I believe God told me he would." Daddy Tim made me brave, but my leg still hurt. I sure hoped he was right, and he really would just hop around on 3 legs.